Okay, Sig P365. This gun in its current state, the current production 365s, I think are great guns. Sig has a lot of problems when it comes to the 320 line, not really shared among the 365 line. However, there is one thing that you can do to your 365 that I think would be a great improvement, both in terms of your enjoyment shooting it and the potential reliability. One of the main problems that you see on the 365 is what they call dead man's trigger, and I believe Carry Trainer and a few other people have put out videos talking about how sometimes with these guns, if they've been shot a lot over time, the trigger just dies and it no longer resets at all, and you have to physically pull the trigger forward and then pull it back to the rear, and it just doesn't work. The gun basically just goes down, and it's not something that you can just tap, rack, or rack, strip, clear. I'm not talking about malfunctions like that. There's a design feature in this gun that is a wear item that you can both improve the original design for a very inexpensive price and improve the reliability and longevity of these guns. And I'm going to show you what that is. So let's lock the gun open. Let's pull that tab down, slide this off. I need a punch. Push that pin out. I am then going to, now YouTube, I am not doing anything against policy. I don't even know if that matters on this channel. So this is the FCU. There are a few springs that you can replace that will reduce the trigger pull down to about 4 pounds or so. And in my opinion, it's a worthy upgrade. The company is called Armorycraft. So Armorycraft makes a variety of aftermarket solutions for a lot of guns. They focus pretty heavily on the Sig pistols, not just the modern ones, even the legacy hammer-fired ones. But this is the FCU. They make a spring kit for the 365, which is about 30 bucks. But what you want to also get is the Plus Power trigger return spring, which is this little bad boy right here. This is the cause of the problems that some people face on the 365. This is a wear item. This part here, I think Sig says should be replaced every 3,000 or 5,000 rounds, which is sort of low, but the cost of the part is so cheap. And what I'm going to recommend you do is get the Plus Power trigger return spring, which is both going to increase the positivity of that trigger reset, and it's going to beef up this spring, which should increase the longevity and lifespan of it. So if we put this back in, what this does basically is it fixes the potential fatal flaw with this design in general, and it also just, with the other springs, makes the gun a much more enjoyable shooting experience in general. I've talked about this gun on my main channel, just about how this gun has turned my wife into a shooter and not just a gun owner. But I think that this spring kit for about 30 or so bucks, and if you use code Reno, you'll save a little bit of money. But the trigger return spring, the Plus Power trigger return spring, will make this gun a significantly better shooting experience by lightening up the trigger pull, but also making the return, the reset, much more positive, tactile, and audible. So, I mean, that's a positive reset, and I think that's a huge improvement. So, improves the trigger feel on the pull, improves the reset, and makes it potentially more reliable over long periods of time if you're shooting it a lot, which is one of the main flaws of this gun. So if you're worried about it and you've been shooting your gun in general, strip it down, throw those springs in, throw the Plus Power return spring in it, and now you have a gun that is not only better to begin with when it comes to the feel and funness of the trigger, but also is more reliable. So absolute win-win. Check it out.